Hello, Big Show nerds. It's me again with your nerd news headlines right here on the Big Show Entertainment Media Network. I am Dustin. In case you didn't know, these are your nerd news headlines for August 30th, 2019. I'm a little sick, so things are probably going to go a little fast as well as a little down a notch on the volume. So my apologies in advance, but let's hit the intro. All right, we are jumping into TV news, and like I said, feeling under the weather, we're gonna try. There's a lot of ground to cover. We're gonna try and cover it as quickly as we can. First up in TV news, we have the official announcement that production has begun on the reboot slash prequel slash whatever Penny Dreadful series on Showtime. Penny Dreadful and the City of Angels has begun production officially, according to the show's official Twitter account. Next is kind of a sad note for all you OA fans. It seems that a movie is out of the question. It seems that another studio picking up the series is also out of the question. Being as Netflix is the sole producer of the series, they're not going to option it out to a different production company. And the showrunners wanted to keep this show going for 5 seasons. Since we only got 2 seasons, trying to wrap things up into a 2-hour movie for 3 seasons worth of information, they just said is really not an option. They can't condense their story down in that much from 3 seasons down to 2 hours. So sadly, it looks like all of those people on the convention floor at Comic-Con holding the hashtag Save the OA signs are doing it for naught. And now apparently there's also people doing hunger strikes at the Netflix office, at the doors of the Netflix office, because they want the OA to come back. Sorry guys, just not in the cards. I want a toilet made of solid gold, but we can't have everything now, can we? Next, we're talking about The Watchmen, and it seems that the release date for this new HBO series has been leaked. And not by any old source, by TV Guide. That's right. TV Guide published that they'd got an interview with the showrunner for The Watchmen, and part of that announcement showed the release date of the series. The episode 1 is apparently going to be airing on October 20th, so it's coming a little bit sooner than some of us anticipated. Next is kind of a personal one, Food Wars, aka Shokugeki no Soma, an anime that is I didn't realize it was on Adult Swim right now, but it is apparently on Adult Swim. The manga that the anime is based on is coming to its conclusion. The epilogue is being released very, very soon, and that, though, doesn't mean that the series is going to end necessarily, because the series is coming back for a 4th season, and they just signed that the manga is going to be released stateside via Viz Media as an English language translation. So you don't have to look up the Japanese translations anymore. There's going to be an English version of the manga. I'm hoping, and since it's on Adult Swim, this might be the case. I'm hoping we get a dubbed version of the anime as well, because the one I've been watching is subbed, and for this I would prefer a dub, I think. Next up is actually one that's technically a couple weeks old, and it's interesting. I heard a rumor, read a rumor, heard a rumor, kind of the same thing, that Stranger Things Season 4 has confirmed, though not officially, just through signing of contracts, that David Harbour is going to be in the series, is going to be in Season 4. So the rumor was that Harbour had signed another contract for Season 4. So I went looking, and a couple of things came up in my digging. First was that the Duffer Brothers, the showrunners, producers, directors, writers, the guys who do the Stranger Things, they did an interview with Entertainment Weekly on the 12th, in which they refer to the incident in the final episode as Hopper's Han Solo moment, in reference to Empire Strikes Back. As we all know, in Empire, when Han sacrifices himself, he comes back in the next movie. So that was really interesting. But then you do a little bit more digging and you find out that initially Harbour's contract was for 4 seasons. You combine these two pieces of information, and we know that Hopper is not dead. We do not know, however, that the American that they reference at the end of that episode is Hopper. We just know that somehow, some way, Hopper will return. And the final piece for TV news in this episode is the new Dave Chappelle. Sticks and Stones is the new stand-up. No news. I mean, there could be news, but we're not going to get into the politics. It's just hilarious, and I wanted to bring it up because I feel like it's getting too much negative press. If you like Chappelle, if you understood Chappelle's show as being an equal opportunity making funner, a maker funner, equal opportunity joke maker, let's put it that way, then you will love his new stand-up. It's hilarious. Stick around after the credits. There's another 20-something minutes worth of Q&A. And yeah, definitely worth a watch. But that's the end of TV news. Let's talk movies. And in movies, we have... I know, not everyone's a big Mortal Kombat geek like I am, but... we're talking a little bit more Mortal Kombat. We got some more casting. I don't generally cover every casting announcement ever. There's plenty that I skip by. But because I am a Mortal Kombat geek, we're talking casting. I'm sorry. That's just the way it goes. Chin Han and Hiroyuki Sanada have both been cast in the new movie. Chin Han has been cast as Shang Tsung, so they are going with a little bit of a younger Shang Tsung. And if you don't know that name, you will recognize the face. He was in Dark Knight Rises. He was the Squealer, as the Joker put it. I recognize a squealer when I see one. Yeah, that's the guy. He's the money guy. So that's Chin Han, and then Hiroyuki Sanada, who will be playing Scorpion, which is an interesting choice because of the age of the actor that they got to play Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are supposed to be approximately the same age, especially if they're going for the older Sub-Zero rather, the first Sub-Zero, if you will, though in the mythology it's the 6th Sub-Zero. But as far as the games are concerned, he's the first. He's the older brother of the one that is currently in the game. So, again, if you don't recognize the name, Sanada has done quite a bit of nerdy stuff. Let's read, shall we? He was in Westworld. He is one of the big guys in the Shogun world. He was in Endgame. He's in Army of the Dead, which is the new Snyder movie that's coming out. And he was in The Wolverine. Not Wolverine Origins. He was in the second one that was slightly better. So those are actually, as much as I think it's an interesting choice to go older with Scorpion than you did with Sub-Zero, I think that actor has the chops to give us a great performance as Scorpion. And also, very likely we're not going to see a whole lot of him after he becomes Scorpion anyway. A whole lot of the actor, because, masks are a thing in the world of Mortal Kombat, so theoretically in future movies they don't have to go with this guy. They can go with somebody younger who can do the physicality, but I feel like Hiroyuki, even though he is a little bit older, that the Hollywood idea of old actors can't do young roles, I think or can't do action roles even. I think we've learned in recent years that that's not really the case. I mean, Last Blood is coming out soon, and how old is Stallone these days? Also, the new Terminator, and how old is Schwarzenegger these days? So it'll be good. I have confidence in this casting. Next, we're talking Suicide Squad. Taika Waititi apparently just has too much free time on his hands these days. And I say that, I know you can't tell because the voice and the sickness, but that's oozing with sarcasm. James Gunn is apparently in talks with Taika Waititi for Waititi to play an undisclosed role in the Suicide Squad movie. I know I've heard a lot of nerds on the internets saying that wouldn't it be awesome if he was King Shark? Well, we know that's not the case. But very likely he's going to be the Slipknot role. No confirmation that the Slipknot character is going to be in this movie, but if you saw the last Suicide Squad movie, you know what I'm talking about. He's the one that is going to create the stakes for the squad, if you will. So it's not finalized, but that is the direction it looks like it's going. Next, speaking of productions, the end of a production, the new Saw reboot sequel thing that is being helmed by Chris Rock and starring Chris Rock and somehow Samuel L. Jackson. That movie has just finished production. Still don't understand why this is a thing, but apparently it is. And then very interesting announcement, or rumor rather. Let's not say it's an announcement because I don't want to be misquoted. I don't want to say a wrong thing. Rumor has it that the MCU will be rebooting the Inhumans. I feel like we kind of should have saw this one coming. I feel like because it was so horrible on Fox, it was on Fox, right? ABC maybe? ABC. Wherever it aired. The Inhumans series being so terrible, it was never addressed in the MCU proper. So this should be an easy reboot. But we should have saw this one coming because with the announcement of the Eternals and the Inhumans and the mutants are all very, very closely related. So we kind of need to reboot the Inhumans, don't we? And then our final movie update for this episode is The Flash. We have a proper update from somebody aside from Ezra Miller. It seems that director Andy Muschietti, who is doing the It franchise, has confirmed that his next movie after It will be The Flash. So we're going to see a Flash movie. Warner Brothers needs to pull their heads out of whatever orifice it's stuck in and give us a timeline. What are we going to expect from you guys? We know Suicide Squad's working. We know Aquaman 2 is going to happen. We know Wonder Woman 1984 is going to happen very soon as well. But we don't know anything beyond that. So I'm pleading with you, Warner Brothers and the DC Extended Universe, if you still exist. Let's see what's happening. Oh, and Shazam. We know Shazam and Black Adam and the Batman. We know these things, but it would be nice to have an official press release so that we can see how things are progressing, see how things are not progressing, if that's the case. But that is the end of movies, guys. And that does it for this episode of Headlines Nerds. For more in-depth conversation on these nerdy bits plus much more nerd action, join me on my personal YouTube channel, Generally Nerdy. Just a reminder, next week is Salt Lake Fan X, what was once referred to as Salt Lake Comic-Con. That is happening next week, so we will be getting at most one episode next week, but there will be plenty of Comic-Con coverage over on my channel, again, Generally Nerdy on YouTube. But don't forget to like, subscribe, and share on all of the Big Show Entertainment Media platforms. Tune in next time for all that's happening across the nerd world, and thank you once again for joining me.